I'm never gonna be like Tan and Mojo where I can just like tell a story so good and so fast and just like know every detail and just be like, yeah, this is what happened and this is what happened after that and this is what happened after that and after that and this is where I am now. Like, I cannot do that.
You should see me in a crowd. I'm gonna run, there's nothing to help.
Hey guys, Shelby here. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hi, how are you? You guys should go subscribe. I have a lot of interesting, cool, fun videos on my channel. Today's video is going to be a story time video. Telling stories on YouTube kind of stresses me out. It like overwhelms me. I feel like I'm not really good at like explaining stories or like trying to make them flow. I was watching a bunch of story time videos this morning and like watching how many times they actually cut and like cropped and edited their videos, and a lot of them they just tell the story from the beginning until the end and they don't cut anything, and I don't know how they do that because honestly like I jumble my words so much and have such a hard time making my stories flow. So hopefully today I can do a better job at making my story flow and making it make sense, because this is a really creepy story that happened with me and one of my friends. It's like a really interesting story. I kind of forgot that it had happened because I kind of just tried to get it out of my mind, but I'm gonna tell it today because I feel like it's a story people would actually find interesting. So I want to say that this story took place in 8th grade or 9th grade. It's pretty sad that I can't remember considering I'm only in 11th grade right now. So at the time I was with one of my really close friends who is really into dance. She does dance, she does drill, she does all of that cool stuff, and she's really good at it. And she had a dance tryout after school and she didn't want to go to the dance tryout alone, so I went with her. It took place after school, and so it was gonna last, I want to say, like an hour and a half to 2 hours after school had ended. I think our school ended at like 2:25 and the dance tryouts went until like 4:30 or 5 o'clock. So I went with my friend, and obviously she was trying out. I was not, because I do not dance, I do not cheer, I do not do anything like that. I am not flexible, I'm kind of a loser, and I don't really do any sports. So I wasn't trying out, I was just waiting for my friend. I knew a couple other people that were waiting for their friends too, so I was able to like make small talk while she was going in and doing her audition. So my friend went in to do her audition, and then she was done, and her mom was gonna come pick us up from the school, but she wasn't off work quite yet, so she asked us if we could just start walking to my friend's house and then she would pick us up on the way as we were walking. We were about the only girls that were walking. Everybody else had already left, or their parents had picked them up, or if they were walking, they were walking the opposite direction. So our school is right here, and my friend didn't live too far from the school. She lived like a couple blocks this way, and then you took a turn and you took another turn and you were at her house. So it wasn't that far. It was like a 10-15 minute walk at the most maybe, and we were thinking we were only gonna have to walk like a couple minutes and then her mom would come pick us up. So I knew that her mom had a white car. I kept asking my friend like, oh, what kind of, like, what color car does your mom have, so that we could like keep an eye out for her, and if we saw her we would know, okay, she's gonna pull over, and then we can get in the car. Well, as we kept walking down the road, we saw this white truck pass us a couple times, and I kept joking with my friend. Every time I saw a white car I would say to my friend like, oh hey, is that your mom? Oh hey, is that your mom? Like, just as a joke, you know, like, because I was obnoxious and annoying. I still am, but I was more back then. So I kept asking her like, hey, that white car that just passed, is that your mom? Well, then there's this white truck that passed us, and I was like, hey, is that your mom? And like, obviously she knew it was a joke because her mom didn't have a truck, and I knew her mom didn't have a truck. And so she's like, no, silly, like, my mom doesn't have a truck. Well, then a couple more minutes passed, we kept walking, and then a white truck passed us again, and so I was like, oh, well, we know that's not your mom because she doesn't have a white truck. Well, then we started to get like a weird feeling, and it was kind of odd because the whole time we were walking I was like, wouldn't it be like creepy if we like just went missing and like we never made it to your house, and like your mom never was able to find us like on our way home from work, and like we were kind of just joking about it. But then we both started getting like kind of weird feelings, not super weird, but just like weird to the point where we're like, okay, we hope her mom hurries up and finds us and picks us up so we don't have to keep walking anymore. We kept walking, everything was fine, we were just making small talk, and then we saw the same white truck pass us again. Now the reason that we knew it was the same truck is because we were close enough to the road and the truck was close enough to us that we could see the people in the front seat, and the people that were in the front seat were two adult men. They both had, I want to say they had like facial hair, but the main thing that we could notice about them was that they both had hats on, like baseball hats. hats. She called her mom at that point, and her mom was like, well, where are you guys? And so she told her, she's like, well, you're almost to the house, so why don't you just keep walking to the house? So we're like, okay, her mom's not gonna pick us up, we're just gonna keep walking to the house. We decided to cross the street because her house was on the right side of the street and we were on the left side of the street. So we got to an area where we could cross, we crossed the street, and then we started walking almost to an area where we were about into her neighborhood. Then all of a sudden we saw the same white truck again, and it like started driving really slow, like creepily slow. So we were like, you know, like, okay, this is kind of weird. So we like started walking faster, like, it's fine, nothing's gonna happen, like, we're almost to her house. All of a sudden the truck pulled over to the side of the road, and my friend and I, like, we're idiots because we both kind of just stopped and we looked at the truck and we were like talking to each other, like, why the heck did they stop here? Well, then my friend was like, well, they probably just like live in that house. So we're like, oh yeah, duh, they probably just live in that house, maybe they're just like pulling up to the house. So we're like, okay, it's fine. So we kept walking, we're almost to a turn where we can turn, and we're almost to my friend's house. We're about to turn and we stop and we look back, and the guy starts putting his hand out the window. One of the guys, I want to say it was the guy in the passenger seat, he puts his hand out the window, takes his hat off, and starts motioning for us to come towards the truck. At this point, my friend and I realized that they did not live at that house, and we felt really creeped out, like they were following us, and it was just really scary. We both just got really bad feelings at the exact same time. So then the guys started getting out of the truck. We saw them begin to open the doors and step out of the truck, and all of a sudden at the exact same time, my friend and I just booked it. We both were overwhelmed with emotion and we were so scared, and we just booked it as fast as we could into the nearest backyard that we could see. And we ran into the backyard of a house that was like diagonally from the corner, and my friend's house was just at the next street, so it wasn't that far from where we were, but we were just so scared that we just ran to hide as fast as we could. So we started running into this lady's backyard. I saw a shed, and so I booked it behind this lady's shed, and then my friend just hid behind her fence because she didn't know what, I guess she didn't know like where else to hide. We were both so scared, so she just ducked down behind this, I want to say it was like a fence or like some rocks or something. As we were running, we heard them get back in the truck and we heard it start, and we were both hiding. We were both in tears, we were both shaking, we were so scared. We weren't next to each other, we had both hid in different areas. We're looking and we saw the truck drive past the street. So we were at this house on the corner, and they had turned the corner and there was a street going this way. From where we were, we could see them, and we saw them drive down the street back and forth like 2 or 3 times. We just watched them and we just stayed there, and we were so scared. And then all of a sudden, the lady that we were in her backyard, she comes out of her back door because I guess she saw us or she heard us, and she was like, what is going on? And my friend didn't know who she was. I didn't know who she was. Maybe my friend knew who she was. I don't know. But this lady comes outside and we're both scared. We're crying, but we get out of our hiding spots because we felt safer now that somebody else was with us. And we told her, we're like, somebody's following us. These people in this truck, like they were motioning for us to come towards them. Like they started following us in their truck. So we were telling her what had happened, and she walked us the rest of the way to my friend's house because my friend's house wasn't too far from her house. And she was like trying to tell us to calm down, like, hey, it's okay, like what did the truck look like, what did the guys look like, blah blah blah. Well, then we get to my friend's mom's house, we're crying, we're telling her what happened. She doesn't really know what to do. She's like, I don't know whether to believe them, I don't know whether to call the cops, I don't know whether to just let it go and tell them that it's fine. So eventually she decided that we should probably call the cops because of how scared we felt. Like, you know when you just get those bad feelings and you feel like something bad could have happened if you did one thing different? Like, we had those feelings. Like, I feel like if we were over exaggerating, we would have realized it as soon as we got into the lady's backyard, but we didn't. Like, we stayed hidden until that lady came out, and honestly, if she didn't come outside, I don't know what else we would have done. Like, we probably would have just stayed there. We called the cops. This cop shows up at my friend's mom's house, and he's sitting on the porch with us. He's asking us to describe the truck, asking us to describe what the guys looked like. We told them that they had hats on, their truck was white, blah 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 blah. Well, then he's like, okay, I'm gonna drive around and see if I can find the truck and see if I can describe who you're talking about, like where was the last time you saw them. So we told them that we saw them go down that street when we were in the lady's backyard like 2 to 3 times, and we didn't know if they parked somewhere else or if they went back to the corner that they were first at. And so the cop left. he went to go see if he could find anybody or find anything out of the ordinary, I guess. My friend and I were both like scared, but we felt like better because we were at her house. We felt safer. And then I don't remember if the cop called us or if the cop came back to the house. I want to say that he came back to the house and he told us that he had found the guys in the truck and had asked them like if they saw us and blah blah blah. And this is what the guy said. They're like, oh yeah, we saw those girls, but we didn't do anything. Like, we just saw them walking and then we drove our truck to our house and now we're just at our house chilling in our truck. So they told the cops that they did not stop on the corner and motion for us to come towards their truck. They told them that they did not drive past us multiple times, that they just drove past us once, turned the corner, and drove into their driveway, and that they had been in their driveway ever since. And the cop believed them, and the cop just left it at that. The cop was like, well, I guess since you guys didn't get hurt, like, there's really nothing else we can do further than that because it's like their word against your word and just all this stupid crap. So my poor friend and I were terrified, like feeling like we could have got kidnapped if we would have gone towards their truck. And they're saying that they didn't even do any of that, that we're over exaggerating, and that they just saw past us and then went to their house, which was across the street from the lady that we were in her backyard, which was across the street from her house. So obviously if they would have parked in the driveway and like gone into a house, why would they have passed her house 3 times like looking for us? You know what I mean? Like, it was really weird. It was a really creepy situation. I really don't know what their intentions were, but it was just really creepy. And it's kind of funny because a couple weeks after that had happened, my friend and I were at school, and one of our classmates like asked us like, hey, I saw you guys the other day like in my piano teacher's backyard, like, are you guys okay? And so we told her what had happened, and she's like, yeah, I saw you guys like crying and hiding and my piano teacher didn't tell me what happened. So one of our friends was at piano doing piano lessons with the lady that found us, and I guess that's how she saw us because like where she was teaching the piano lessons was close to the back door. But I mean, that's just like a funny side note, really has nothing to do with the story. But yeah, that's it. That's the story. It was really, really weird, really creepy. And I don't know if people like believed us or thought we were lying, but all I remember is that I was so scared. My friend was so scared. Like, I don't think either of us have seen each other so scared in our entire lives. Anyways, that's it. That's the story. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Keep your eye out for extra videos. Turn on my notifications if you guys like my videos, because you might get more videos than one a week. Yeah, everyone that watched, thank you. Any support helps. I will see you guys in my next video, and that's it. Okay, bye!